Handling tarantulas, such a controversial topic, but you know what? At the end of the day, they are your animals, and if you want to handle your tarantulas, that is your business. Now, do I recommend handling large body tarantulas like this particular female right here? I'm gonna say no, but why am I doing it? Is to show you guys that if you choose to do so, there are proper ways. I'm gonna tilt this enclosure onto the side because it is kind of deep, and I'm gonna coax this tarantula onto this side of the tank, and then I'm going to get a catch cup and try to coax the tarantula into the catch cup. So that's gonna be step one. Now, the tarantula right here is a Pamphobeteus vespertinus. She's actually super chill, and these tarantulas are super rare. This happens to be one of the largest ones in the country. I don't know of anyone else having a larger Pamphobeteus vespertinus, and she is super heavy bodied. So now that I have secured her into a catch cup, I'm going to put her down as close to her ground as possible, and always have a couple of catch cups ready, you know, in hand. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to be handling her on the table because I kind of have a feel and I know her temperament and her demeanor. So I am pretty confident doing what I'm doing with this particular tarantula. Now, if you have a heavy body tarantula at home and that you want to handle it, if you choose so yourself, be very careful and try not to do it on a table, unless you know their temperament very, very well. I've had this tarantula for quite a few years, and I'm pretty confident that once I put my hand in front of her and coax her from behind, she is going to slowly climb onto me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm very gently touching the hind legs of the tarantula and her big booty to walk very, very slowly. I might even put my tongs underneath her and kind of guide her towards me. So the reason why I'm wearing gloves right now is a potential chance that she can kick some hairs onto me, and I want to protect myself. I'm not really afraid of getting bit or tagged by this particular female, but there's also a chance for that, right? So you always want to be very careful when you're handling larger species, especially from this genus, the Pamphobeteus, the Theraphocenae. They could kick hair, and that kind of sucks. So now I am gently and very slowly putting my left hand underneath her so I could pick her up. Are her fangs out?
No, they're not out. They're just open, like Poecilotheria are open, not her fangs.
Okay, alrighty. So there you go. I'm sweating a little, not gonna lie. So if you're going to handle a larger tarantula, that is the proper way to do it. Very close to the ground and very slowly, very carefully. And also, always try to know the particular female. Like, start slowly. You know, you don't want to go ahead and pick a large body tarantula like this one from day one. And that is how you handle a large bodied tarantula. So I am going to put her back into the enclosure. I'm going to tilt this over. And guide her back. Actually, I'm probably just gonna lift her from underneath and coax her back into her permanent forever home. And there we go. Success. If you want to handle something that's a lot easier, you go with an Avicularia species or a Carabina versicolor or something like that. Here we have a Avicularia purpurea. They're beautiful, one of the most amazing Avicularia species out there, and they're much easier to handle. You just coax them from behind, just like that, and onto person. Why am I still wearing my gloves? I really totally don't have to, but I got lazy and didn't take them off. But look how easy it is to handle an arboreal species. You can just kind of guide them from one hand to the other, to the other. There's really not much to say about this species as far as handling wise. And so the Avicularia species, they're arboreal species and they are tree spiders. So technically they can jump from tree to tree, but you still don't want to like drop them. You know, they can lose their footing and fall, but typically it's not a major concern if you drop an arboreal species. But now, if I had dropped the other species, the Pamphobeteus vespertinus, it would have totally ruptured its abdomen and we would have most likely lost that species. But an arboreal species, I'm not so worried. You don't have to be very close to the ground. Another reason why this species is an amazing species, or the entire genus, is they really don't kick hair compared to the previous tarantula that we were handling. Aren't they gorgeous? Now this next spider that we're gonna attempt to handle is one of the easiest tarantulas to handle, even more easy than the Avicularia species. It is this beautiful, oh, never mind, sorry, wrong tarantula. I'm just playing. This is a color morph variant of the OBT, the Paternochilus mirinus. It is the Kegoma color morph, and you never ever want to handle this tarantula. Even professionals, even experienced people, I think there's like a 75% chance that you will get bit if you attempt to handle this tarantula. So we are not going to attempt to handle it, but they are magnificent, magnificent specimens. They're gorgeous. Oh man, they're just one of my favorites for sure. The Kegomas, the Usambras, the classic OBTs. There's so many color variations of the OBTs. They are very, very defensive. When provoked, they will bite. So we're gonna leave her alone. Chill, lady, chill. You're beautiful. Yeah, we know that. This next species we're going to talk about is from the genus Brachypelma. The Brachypelma species are Mexican species, and Mexican species, most of them love to kick hair. So this particular specimen, I want to see if she's going to kick hair. Let's see if I coax her from behind, she'll allow me to handle her. She's being kind of cooperative right now. I'm actually quite surprised she's not kicking. So I'm coaxing her from behind, but I'm being very careful because I do not enjoy getting kicked. Those hair follicles, when on person, really, really itch. And I'm still attempting to handle this particular specimen, and she's not being very cooperative, but once on person, I think she will be okay. Let's see. Let's test out my theory. Ah, there you go. What about babies? How do you handle babies? Here's a terrestrial baby, a Chaco golden knee tarantula. Now, I want to go out on a limb and say pretty much none of the babies, even if they are a very defensive species, which this particular species is not, but even an OBT, a baby is not going to give you a defensive threat posture. So babies are pretty chill. Babies are, I would say, easy to handle. Chaco golden knee baby. What about a baby Carabina versicolor, the little blueberries? They're absolutely amazing species, these versicolors, especially when they're so tiny. They just look like tiny little blueberries. And they're totally safe to handle, even for kids, I would say, as long as they're babies. They can't break skin. Their fangs are not strong enough, they're not big enough. Before we end the video, there's one more tarantula underneath this cork bark. This particular tarantula is the only tarantula that has ever bitten me in the 13 or so years that I've been doing this. And I used to be fearless. After I got bit by this particular tarantula, I kind of stopped handling the species. But I think we're gonna attempt to handle the species today. Now, this is a Poecilotheria species. It is the infamous Gooty Sapphire Ornamental. They are actually one of the nicer of the Poecilotherias. It's actually pretty rare to get bit by this species. But it happened. It happened where it tagged me. Am I gonna get tagged today? I'm actually pretty nervous doing this right now. So when a tarantula is running like this, you want to grab a catch cup and you want to wait until it just chills out for a minute or two. Now I'm gonna coax this tarantula into the cup and just give it maybe a few seconds to just chill out. The Poecilotheria genus, the Gooty Sapphires, the Rufulatas, the Indian Ornamentals, the Hanumvilusumicas, the Sapuscas, they have the most potent venom out of all other tarantulas. But it's actually rare to get bit by these guys, especially the Gooty Sapphire. But it could definitely happen. It happened to me. And what happened when I got bit? It was really not a fun experience at all. I was actually on a TikTok live. It was my buddy's TikTok live, and I kind of ignored the signs, and it got caught onto my sweater, and it just tagged me on my elbow. So the excruciating pain kicked in after, I want to say, about 40 minutes. So from 40 minutes until like the 8th hour, it hurt. It hurt like hell. And then the day after, I want to say like about 24 hours later, is when the cramping started. My body started cramping like it had never cramped before. Basically, I could not put on my own pants. My wife had to help me put my pants on, my socks on, and that lasted for about 4 days or so. And that was the peak. That was the worst of it all. And it just kind of slowly started going away. And I was back to like 95% within a week. And then from 1 week up until the end of the month, I had like random twitching in my eye and my ass cheeks, all over the body. It was the weirdest experience ever. And yeah, after about a month, I was back to 100%. So you always want to be very careful. You want to know the risks if you want to handle this species or any of the species within this genus. They're beautiful, they're magnificent, they're gorgeous, gorgeous animals, and you just have to give them all the respect in the world. And you have to know the risks too. They're your animals. If you want to handle them, you can. It's up to you. Do what you got to do. Do what you must. Observe them from a distance. And that's it. I think that concludes our video. All right, Mr. Cameraman, do a little, do the helicopter. Can you show the lighting? All right, cool. We're done. Can you guys see it? Hey, I'm gonna log off for a second. Hang on. I gotta check something.
Sure.
I think I got bit.
Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Did you guys hear that? Orm got bit. I hope he's okay. He is a spider, but I think he's gonna be fine.